Hey guys, in this tutorial we'll be discussing about databases, and the database which I'll be using is your MS Access, and I'll be discussing four objects of databases. Those are table reports, forms and queries. So let's start with what is a database. As already discussed, database is a tool for collecting and organizing information so that your information that can be easily accessed and managed as well as updated. Updated means changes can be made to that particular information. So different databases are available in market, and the database which you want to work on depends on the requirements. You might have heard of Oracle, then Microsoft SQL Server, FoxPro was used before. These are all the examples of databases. Now, what is MS Access? MS Access is basically your RDBMS, Relational Database Management System, and it basically runs on Windows operating system, and this was developed by Microsoft. So what is actually the use of database? The database is basically used so that you can add new information easily, you can retrieve existing information, you can delete the information which is no longer required, you can organize the information, you can take the prints of that information, as well as you can share that information as and when required. Now let's start with MS Access as a database, and let's see how that information is stored, retrieved and managed. So in order to start with MS Access, you have to click here and you just have to type Access. It will come here and you just have to click on this. As soon as you will click on this, your Access database will start. You have to take blank database or blank desktop database. From here you have to click on it. As soon as you will click on it, it will ask for your database name, and you can change the you can take the name whatever you like, otherwise it will be the default name will be the database and the number. And secondly, you can save the database anywhere on the hard disk you like. You just have to browse the path from here and you can save it anywhere on the anywhere on your computer system, and then you have to click on create. Now I'm clicking on create here, and here you can see the name is database1, and it is showing me the path where it has been saved in your computer system. And you can also you can also see the extension of the database as well. It is ACCDB. This is the extension of the database or database file. Now getting back to the database, I'm going to discuss. I've got this I want to save some information about cars. So how am I going to save that information? How am I going to retrieve that information? How can you print that information? And how can you filter that information on the basis of certain criteria? So for doing all this, first we need to understand the first object of the database, that is your table. Now please understand that this one on the utmost left hand side is your navigation pane. Whatever table, reports, queries you will be creating, they will be displayed here, and it is easier to get all the objects of database from here. So, and this pane is basically known as your navigation pane, and the tab on which we'll be working is your create tab. We'll be working on table design, query design, form wizard and report wizard. So let's start. What is a table? I've already made a table here. My table is named with the name car information. I'm opening this table. How do you open the table? You just have to click on it and then right click, and then you have to say open. So now please understand that these columns, like car ID, car name, color, price. In database terminology, these are known as fields, and these rows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, these are known as your records. So that means in my current table I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 6 fields and 10 records. This and what is a table? Table is basically a database object that is used to hold data or store the data, and table is a collection of your rows and columns or fields and records. So I've already made this table car information. So how do you actually design a table? You just have to go on create tab and you have to click on table design. As soon as you will click on table design, this interface or this screen will come on your computer, and we have this field name, data type and description. So let's discuss. Field name is basically the description of the description of the entity for which you want to save the data. Data type is actually the type of data that this particular field will have, and description is actually optional. Description is all about the field name, that what type of data this field will be storing in future. So description is actually optional, and you can create your table here. So I've already created this car information. Let me go to design view. Okay, so my table is already open here. I have to close all the tabs here. If okay, I say yes, I have to. Let's say query 1, I will save it as, and I say okay here. Okay, now this car information, I am going to the design view so that you can understand the structure of the table. Now I've got car ID. The data type which I have taken is auto number. You can take short text and you can take number as well. Now let's discuss a bit about data types. Short text, this can store up to 255 characters. If you want to go above 255 characters, you have to take long text. Number, the number can store any numeric value, just like your marks. Date and time, as obvious, date, it is used to store date and time. Currency, all the monetary values in terms of money, it will be saved in currency. Auto number, in auto number, the numbers will come automatically in increasing order, like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Yes and no, this is a boolean value. It will save only yes, no or true and false. OLE object, OLE stands for object linking and embedding, and all your Word documents, PowerPoint presentations and all types of files which you want to put in your database will come under OLE. Hyperlink, hyperlink will actually save the link of a particular web page, of a website, or the path of a file on your computer system. Attachment is basically used to store pictures or photographs. And lookup wizard, is actually when you want to choose from any of the values that has already been saved. Suppose, let's talk about, in your school you have got 4 languages: Hindi, Telugu, Spanish and French. So if you already know and you want to see from these values, then you can use lookup wizard. So let's start. Here I have used auto number, short text, again a short text for color. Price, I've taken currency because it's monetary. Then manufacturer, short text, and seating capacity, it's a number. Now in order to save a table, how do you do that? You just have to click this cross here. It will prompt. As soon as you will click on a cross here, it will suppose, let me create a new table for you guys. Okay, now suppose I put a cross here. Okay, there was nothing in that table. Suppose I go to table design, let's say I create table for you guys, roll number. I'm making this student table, and I'm taking this roll number. Let's say suppose I take student name. Okay, it is again a short text, and let's say I say marks, and it's a number. So now I want to save this table. I'll put a cross. Now here it is asking me, do you want to save this table? I'll have to say it yes in order to save the structure of the table, and by default it will be taken as table 1. If you want, you can take it as, let's say, student or student details, and as click on OK. Primary key, say no to primary key, and now your database have got two tables. One is student and second is car information. Now how do you insert the data into the table? You just have to right click on the table on which you want to insert the data and click on open, and as soon as you click on open, this will be displayed. I have already entered 10 records. Suppose I want to enter records into student table. Right click, open, and here I can enter the record. Suppose roll number, I want roll number, I can say R001. I'm sorry, it's not 00, it's 001. Okay, student name can be any random name. Suppose I say, okay, not ABC, suppose I say Diti. Okay, and marks can be any marks, like let's say I say 80, and here in the table the data is getting saved automatically. You don't have to save this data. As soon as you start entering the data, it is getting saved. So this is all about your tables. This is how you create the structure of the table and insert data into the tables. Now the next database object which I am going to discuss are your forms. Now what is the use of form? Forms are basically used to provide user interface so that you can modify your table data, because every time it is not always possible to open your tables and modify the data or create new records into the table. So that is why we make the use of forms. How do you actually create forms? So you have to go on create tab here, and you have to go to form wizard. As soon as you will click on form wizard, a dialog box will appear, and this will take you to a series of steps by which you are going to create a form. Forms are always linked to tables. Form cannot store the data. It can only provide you interface to work with your table data. Okay, so let's start. I've got student table here. If you see from the drop down, I have got this car information table here. Okay, so you can create forms on your table or on your result of your queries as well. So I am here creating the form on let's say car information, because that has got more data. And as soon as you click on car information, all the fields which are there in car information table will be displayed here. You can take all the fields or you can take selected fields depending on your requirements. So let's say I'm taking, if you want to take selected fields, you have to click this arrow. If you want to take all the fields, then you have to take this arrow. Suppose let me tell you how can you use these arrows. Suppose I want selected fields. I'm coming here and I'm clicking it like this. See, selected field is coming. If I want all the fields, I click here like this and all fields will come. Suppose I'm taking all the fields. I click on next here. Now here it is asking me the layout of your form. The layout of your form can be columnar, tabular, datasheet and justified. You just have to click here. You can have only one layout at a time. So this is your data sheet and this is your justified. I prefer taking tabular because it is easier to understand. And I click on next here. Okay, now what title do you want to give on your form? It can be your car information 1. Why is it coming as car information 1? Because car information form has already been created here. So you can take it as car information 1 or some other title, and after that you can click on finish, and you can see this form has already been created here. Why is it coming into hashes? It is coming into hashes because the box width here is not enough to hold this currency value. If you click on this, the value will come. The other way to change this box width is that you have to go here, right click, and you can go on design view, and from here you can increase or decrease the width of your column. So the form has already been created. Now let's see how can you. Okay, now I have the your table has got 10 records, so this form has also got 10 records. Now how can you enter new records into your form? I'm going here. Okay, let's say I want to enter the car BMW. I want to say it's black in color. Okay, and price can be somewhat like 50 lakhs. So I come here and I say 50 lakhs. Okay, and see, it is again coming like this. Why? Because it is the box width is not enough to hold your currency value. Now it is again BMW, and the seating capacity is 5. Okay, I've entered one record here. If you want, you can enter more records through here. I've entered one record. I will enter one more record. Suppose I say another this as Mercedes. Suppose I want to take Mercedes in white in color, and suppose I'm entering a random value, let's say 20 lakhs. Okay, and it is by the company Mercedes, and the seating capacity again is 5. Okay, so this is what I've entered. Now this all data will be reflected in your table. How? Now I'm going to show you how. I'm closing all the tabs. I'm going to card information here, right click, and I'm clicking on open. You can see these two records which we entered through form is displayed here. That is why forms are used. Now the next topic which we are going to discuss is your reports. How do you create reports? You have to go to create tab and go to report wizard. Again, same as forms, reports are just linked to your table data. They can't actually hold the data. And the difference between forms and reports is that through forms you can edit the table data, but through reports you can only organize and print your table data. Now same is the case here. I'm taking selected fields in this. I suppose I want car name, suppose I want car color, and suppose I want manufacturer here. Okay, and I'm clicking on next here. Okay, here what is being asked is, do you want grouping into any of the levels? No, I don't want any groupings, so I'm clicking on next. Now here they are asking is whether I want any of the fields which I've already selected, whether I want it in ascending or descending order. Okay, I want car name in ascending order. It is already been ascending. I'm just taking one field which I want it in ascending order in my report. Next. Now here again they are discussing the layout. It's columnar, tabular, and justified. I prefer tabular, so I'm going with tabular. Now as reports have to be printed, so it is asking about your paper orientation, portrait and landscape. It can be portrait, and it can be your landscape. Okay, so I'm taking landscape here. I'm clicking on next, report title again, and I'll go with car information, and I click on finish. You can already see car name, color, manufacturer. These were the 3 fields which I selected. They are coming, and you can see I put the car name in ascending order, so you can already see that the names of the cars are in ascending order. So, and you can share the reports over emails, over internet, over intranet, and you can take the printout as and when required. That is the use of reports. Now the last database object which I am going to discuss is your queries. Now, what is the use of queries? Queries are basically used to filter the data on the basis of selected criteria. Now, I have got 10 fields here. Now, this car information, I have got 12. I'm sorry, give me two. Okay, this table has got 12 records in it. There are chances then that these record can reach to 50, 100, 200, 1000, or maybe 50,000. So it will be very difficult to analyze the data, and when we have to manually analyze the data, then why to save it in the computer system? So the use of queries is that to filter the data on the basis of selected criteria. So how is that criteria applied is what we are going to discuss now. Create, we are going to go on create. We are going to click report wizard here. Oh, I'm so sorry, report has already been discussed. I'm going to query design here. As soon as you click on query design, this is your query design window, and this is asking you about the table which you want to take, on which you want to design the query so that data can be filtered. So you can take car information, you can take student. I am taking car information because it has got more data, and I'm clicking on add here. You can see the table has already been added here, and I am closing this window. Now suppose I want it on car name. I suppose I want it on filter data on color, and suppose I want it on manufacturer. Suppose car name, it has already been sorted. Suppose I want to sort it in descending order. I sometimes I would like that. So, and you have to come here, and you have to click on this run. As soon as you will click on this run, you can see that the car name is into this the name of the car, or the car name is coming in descending order. How do you go back into this query? You go here, right click, and go to design view. Now, related to the color, suppose I want in criteria, I want white color of the car, and in manufacturer, suppose I want Toyota. Okay, so I'm coming here. Now, in order to get the result, my both these conditions have to be satisfied. It has to be white in color, and it has to be from the manufacturer Toyota. Only then I'll be able to get the records. I'm clicking on run here. Okay, I've got two cars here, Fortuner and Corolla, and they are white in color, and they are by manufacturer Toyota. So this is all about your queries. Queries are used to filter the data on the basis of selected conditions, and I hope you understood the tutorial, and any doubts you had might have been cleared. Still, you can get back to me in school anytime if you have got any doubts. And all the best for your exams. Do well, and take care. Bye.